Get your buzz on. Sports Buzz is here to take all calls and answer all questions about your favorite team, coach, or player, local, regional, and national. Sports Buzz, taking calls and kicking game.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Sunday Sports Buzz presented by livingforless.org. Louisville's only live TV sports talk show. We're back to an hour here from 11 to 12, and we're taking your phone calls. 964-2121, the Oxmoor Ford Lincoln Buzz line. We want to hear from you. This is our U of L UK preview show, the game next Saturday at the KFC Yum Center. I'm your host, Greg Brom. Joining me tonight is you know what? I think you might be the new voice of the Cardinals on 1450 The Sports Buzz. Rashawn Myers, co-host of Mason and Myers in the morning on 1450 The Sports Buzz. Rashawn is the most optimistic, positive U of L fan around, anywhere. And so we're going to talk about the game tonight, tonight, Rashawn. And we're going to start off by talking about the two tune-ups yesterday. Louisville and Kentucky both in action. Louisville goes down to Western. Impressive victory, I thought. Contributions from guys other than Russ Smith on offense when you got Blackshear, Bohannon, Harrell. What did you think of the Cards game versus Western last night?
Well, you know, the things that we saw on Saturday down there in Nashville, I think are kind of the things that we talked about earlier in the season, is that this Louisville team has started to gel and they've started to begin to find themselves on offense. And I think that's the biggest thing that Louisville's continue to do is develop an identity. Guys like Wayne Blackshear, guys like Shane Bohannon, Montrezl Harrell starting to figure out themselves offensively, and you're starting to see this team gel. I mean, they were already a great defensive team, but now you're starting to see that offense come around, and if you're an opponent, that's got to scare the living daylights out of you right now.
Well, I'm really encouraged by what I saw of Wayne Blackshear the last couple of games. Wayne is coming a bit into his own. His three-point shot looks great. He had 3 threes last night. I still would like to see more of him taking someone off the dribble, maybe filling the lane on a fast break with a dunk or something a little aggressive to the hoop. Yeah. But he's making strides, slowly but surely. And Shane as well. I think Shane is asserting himself. And Louisville, I mean, I think they need Russ to be the guy, I think, but they need him to be the guy, but not the only guy. They need him and the others to contribute significantly.
Well, and I think that's the thing about this Louisville team right now is that they have so many players that can be that takeover guy. They have Peyton Siva, they have Russ Smith, they have Wayne Blackshear, they have Shane Bohannon. All those guys have that ability to be able to take over a game, and that's what makes defending this team so difficult right now, is that you have so many players that are good enough to be able to take the team and put them on their back for a short stint. That who do you key on? I mean, that's the biggest question mark is, you know, who do you stop? If you go put 2 guys on Russ, then you're leaving, you know, somebody else wide open on the opposite side. I think you saw that with Wayne Blackshear. You've seen that with a lot of the different guys. And you know, coming out of high school, when I talked to those 2 guys at McDonald's All-American game, Wayne Blackshear and Shane Bohannon, they called themselves the Wayne and Shane Show. Well, the last 3 games, you know, FIU, Memphis, as well as against Western Kentucky, the Wayne and Shane Show has gotten going. And if these guys keep scoring at this rate, there's no telling what they're going to do.
All right, in Kentucky yesterday, Marshall, they've been going through Camp Cal. Cal, I think, is playing mind games with them. You knew that yesterday, you knew no matter what happened, at the end of the game, Cal was going to say, boy, they're getting it. They're getting it. It's going to get right before Kentucky, right before the Louisville game. They're getting it. They're getting it. Well, they are kind of getting it. Harrell had a nice game, 23 points. The Cats played physical, hit the boards well. I'm a little worried about that if I was Cardinals fan about Kentucky on the boards, because historically in the past, Louisville's rebounding issues, they've had rebounding issues. Yeah. But what do you think about the Cats' progress? Because this is not last year's Kentucky team. It shouldn't be expected to be, but it definitely is not. What do you think about how they're coming along?
Well, the thing I've noticed about Kentucky, of course, they took a couple of tough losses in a row, losing to Notre Dame, losing to Baylor. Those were a couple of tough setbacks, but they did get well over the next 4 games. They won all 3 of those games by an average of about 33 points over this 4-game stretch. But the biggest issue that I've noticed with Kentucky
They haven't played anybody, though.
is that, and they've
But
struggled.
they didn't play anybody
mightily.
last year either.
That's true.
And
That's true. But my
still
biggest
won
issue, Greg, with them is that in the first half of games, they're struggling. They have not been able to put these teams away early. It seems like, when you've watched Louisville, they've come in and put the hammer down immediately. But the simple fact that this team is not going out there and they're not putting these teams away. They struggled with Marshall. They struggled with Lipscomb. They struggled with Portland. These are teams that Kentucky should just blow out. These are not good basketball teams, and the fact that they struggled with a Marshall team that was barely over 500, now 7-6 on the season, that's your biggest question mark. And they were playing without their leading scorer, DeAndre Kane, that is dealing with a right hand injury.
You know what? That's one thing Louisville hasn't done this year that they usually do in December is throw a clunker in against a team that they should beat. Remember Drexel a couple years ago?
Right.
Louisville's actually handled everybody.
Outclassed everybody.
Yeah, when they're considerably better than an opponent, they've beaten that team into the ground. And that's I think a sign that this team's a little bit better than the ones that Rick's had lately, probably since the 09 team.
But I will say this, but for Kentucky, on the bright side, at least you have Ryan Harrow coming around, because the Wildcats are going to definitely need for Ryan Harrow to be a big part of what they're going to do. If they're going to spring the upset in the Yum Center, Harrow's got to be playing well. Coming off this last game, 23 points, had a couple of assists. That's as much as you can hope for heading into.
Who's Kentucky's most important player in this game? I mean, who's the guy that has to play great for him? Is it Harrow? Or is it Poitras that he has to be the man underneath, or what? Does Goodwin have to shoot better than he has? Because he only used 4 for 17 yesterday, getting his 18 points at the line, but he hasn't been shooting real well. What do you think? Who's the most important player for the Cats?
Well, I would say Alex Poitras needs to be special. He's a guy who athletically is dominant. He's a guy that every night out, he's going to be arguably the best player at his position because he's just so physical. He's so athletic. He can play at both the 3 and the 4. He has to come out, and he has to have a special game. This game, fouling out with, I believe, 9 points, 9 rebounds, 5 fouls against Marshall.
He does not have a double-figure rebound game.
That's not going to get it done against Louisville. I mean, he has to come out. He has to be special. But I would say it would be 1 and 1A with Ryan Harrow because Kentucky is going to have somebody who can handle the pressure. This is a team that has not been pressed all season. They're coming in, they're playing on their second true road game. They did not fare well on the road against Notre Dame in their first true road game. Now they have to come up to the Yum Center with a crowd that's going to be on them. It's going to be a ravenous atmosphere out there at the Yum Center. And Ryan Harrow's going to have to be able to handle that and be the point guard that Kentucky needs to get it done.
All right, we're talking Louisville, Kentucky next Saturday, 4 o'clock, KFC Yum Center. We're going to talk and dive deeply into this, into the matchups, into the issues surrounding this game. And when we come back, I do want to bring up an issue and invite your phone calls. And this came up, Rashawn, a couple years ago, last time Kentucky played in the KFC Yum Center, where the Big Blue Nation did invade, and they infiltrated the first 3 rows of the KFC Yum Center really significantly, where it was almost a mini sea of blue amidst the rest of the crowd. Yeah. Is it okay, I'm going to ask you, is it okay for you Cards fans to sell or give your tickets to fans of your arch rival? Is that okay? We're going to talk about it. I want to hear your phone calls, 964-2120, because that's how they had to get the tickets, right there in the front rows of KFC Yum Center. 964-2120, when the Oxmoor Ford Lincoln Buzz Line. We'll have more in a moment. The Sunday Sports Buzz, presented by livingforless.org.
Sports Buzz will return after these messages from our sponsors.
Great gift ideas from Smart Shoppers. Start and warm the car from anywhere with a remote starter. Smart Shopper price, $59. Crank up the tunes with a base kit, including box, 2 subs, and amp. Smart Shopper price, $199. Smart holiday gift ideas only at
Smart Shoppers, 'cause this is how you roll.
Landscape of sports talk radio has changed in a big way. 1450 The Sports Buzz brings you the best local shows and national shows in the area, starting with Mason and Myers in the morning, The Dan Patrick Show, The Freak Show with John Renshaw, and inside the press box, as well as high school, college, and professional games. Sick of the same old watered-down sports talk? Look no further than 1450 The Sports Buzz and 1450thesportsbuzz.com.
3 out of 4 Americans know they need life insurance, and many who have it know they don't have enough. Sound like you? You can guarantee those you love $200, $500, $750,000 or more with life insurance through Matrix Direct. Just look, less than $16 a month buys a 40-year-old man a $250,000 term life policy. That's up to 3 times what you can get from other companies for the same price.
Call 800-893-4667 or go to matrixdirect.com. That's 800-893-4667.
Fall is here, and you are going to fall in love with all the great deals that we have for you on 21 Live all the time. You can find our great values on our website. That website is shop21live.com. All the different categories of life. You're going to find the best stuff there at the best prices. And while you're there, don't forget to like us on Facebook as well. Great values on the show, too, every week. You can find us here on ION Saturday mornings at 10 a.m.
All right, we're back to Sunday Sports Buzz presented by livingforless.org. And if you like the Sunday Sports Buzz and you want to hear more from me, I don't know why you would, but if you do, I'm on the Mason and Myers in the morning, 1450, Tuesday and Fridays at 7:30. I call in, talk to Rashawn Myers, who's my co-host tonight, Jeff Mason, who we may hear from a little bit later in the show. I'm sure his name will come up in some, it's somewhere along the way, so we'll need to beat up on somebody, so we'll talk about Mace a little bit. But definitely, brought to you by Insuramax. Tune in, 1450, the Sports Buzz on Tuesdays and Fridays. My brother could be on, Jeff Braun, but I'll be on in his place, as the graphic says. But it's going to be me. Make sure you tune in, 1450 The Sports Buzz, Mason and Myers, brought to us by Insuramax, our good friends over there, Chad and Alan Hennessy. And we're talking about cards and cats. And I threw a question out before the break, Rashawn. Is it okay for you to sell your front row tickets to fans of your arch rival?
Well, I'm going to just tell you up front, I hated it. The first game, first U of L UK game in the Yum Center. And, you see all these big blue sweaters, these big, obnoxious, ugly blue sweaters on the first 3 rows.
You talk about ugly Christmas sweater parties.
Oh,
and how about an ugly cat sweater
awful.
party?
And they're so obnoxious. They're just obnoxiously blue. And I just saw this blue, and I could not believe it. In the big dollar, big donor, big money seats, it was unbelievable. I say absolutely not. I don't like it. I don't want people on CBS or whoever's covering the game to see that. Louisville fans, hold on to your tickets. Give it to anybody but a Kentucky fan. I know the money's good, and I heard that those tickets went for a pretty, nice little chunk of change, but God, just have a little bit.
You know what? I'm usually a guy that says if you buy the ticket, you pretty much can do what you want with it, except for that. I think it's not right to sell or give your tickets to fans of your arch rival, if you're in a high-profile seat especially. I almost have a different standard for those front seats than I do something up in the body of the arena.
Right.
You're right there in the front, because what it looked like on TV was that the game was at Rupp Arena. If you were just tuning in, because it was all blue, or majority blue,
you would never see that in
rows.
Rupp Arena. You never see that in Rupp Arena.
You wouldn't, and I think if it's a corporate seat, or I think they have an obligation in buying that ticket or donating it to the university to support the university, and not to give it to a Kentucky fan who is going to wear blue right there. It's almost disrespectful to Louisville in some ways. I really think that is where I would draw the line. I know Charlie Strong, Rashawn, had some comments about fans who maybe don't come into the game, on time, or they're up in the party. I think all that's fine. You can come late, you can leave early.
Yeah.
You can even boo when it's appropriate, not that maybe the players, but the coaches or decisions. Right. You can stay on the party deck. I think I do draw the line, though, at giving or selling your seats to fans of your arch rival in the biggest game of the year. I think I draw a line there. I don't think that it's okay to do that.
Well, I'm 100% with you on that one. I cannot stand it. I don't like UK. Everybody knows I don't like UK. If you check out my Twitter, I always say UK sucks at least once a day. I don't like them. I hate seeing the blue out there. You know, sorry, Kentucky fans, but
I think you even think that CBS should not broadcast the game into other areas, parts of the state. Just so they can't watch.
I would be okay with that. I would be okay with that, but you know what? This year, they may not want to do that anyway.
I tell you what, I even go this far, Rashawn, and we got Jerry on the line. We'll get to him in a second. I think if I have front row seats and you're my neighbor and I want you to go with me and you're a UK fan, I can say, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
But if I can't go at all, I don't want to give you both of my seats. I think that's not right. To give you both of my seats and just give them and you go and at least if you do that, they have to not wear their colors. I mean, you have to have some respect for where you're at. And things like that.
And the fact that you said the thing about corporate seats, and I would almost say that I don't want to say I'm okay with that, but I can understand that more. But if it's a dyed-in-the-wool Louisville fan that bleeds red and black, and they're giving those tickets out to Kentucky fans, that's what I have an issue.
Yeah. All right. We want to hear from you. 964-2121. We have Jerry on the Osmore Ford Lincoln Buzz line. Hey, Jerry.
Hey, how y'all doing today?
Doing good.
Hey, I have to voice my opinion here. This is my first time talking to you and the first time calling on the phone. But I've did construction at the football stadium for 2.5 years. Okay, when UK plays Louisville here, I didn't work on the arena downtown, but I'm union sheet metal workers, and I got a lot of buddies there. If I was ever going to go to a Louisville game downtown, this would be the game. You know, when Pitino was at Kentucky, I met him. When Jamal Madison was a freshman, I sat there and worked the Lexington Toyota plant for about 2.5 years, and I loved Pitino. And when he came here to Louisville doing the Kroger stuff, and everybody booed him, I told him it was so glad to have him here at Louisville and being back in Kentucky. And it's just this game this weekend, just like the Cincinnati-Pittsburgh game today, it just about drove me nuts. This weekend's game, I love to see Rick win, and I love Rick. And when I see him now, when he sees me now, he still remembers who I am every time he sees me. But I haven't met Calipari, but I like to see him win, but I still think Louisville's going to win by 12 or 15 points. But I think it's going to be a really good ball game. I just think Kentucky's basketball team's young, and if someone gave me tickets to the front row of the game, I would probably wear a half and half shirt because I love Kentucky more than anything in the world. But I've got as much autographed U of L stuff as I do UK stuff, and it's just an honor to watch both teams play. And when you watch Richard talk on the telephone, talk on watching the shows, and you watch Rick talk, I mean, it just makes you feel so good that he's back here in Kentucky. And when everybody boos him and hates blue or red, you should like both because they're both here in the state. You should cheer them both on and give them both great praise. I just think they both deserve it. And, you know, just like seeing you all. I mean, I worked at the football stadium. I used to go to the old stadium. I've worked the new stadium. And I just love the football games. I haven't never been to Kentucky football games, but I'm a big blue fan, so I love going to my Louisville games.
Well, it's good to hear from you, Jerry. I can see why maybe there'll be a reason to go to Kentucky football games.
Jerry's a rare breed. That I always hear these colleges say that they support both schools and programs.
It sounds
but
good.
I never meet any of these
watch
people.
them while they're watching the game, and I don't believe them when they say that. I really don't. I think it sounds good to say it, but it maybe doesn't play itself out in reality.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where I think maybe the Kentucky fans, and I think Jerry probably leans a little bit more to the blue side of the fence, in my opinion, that I think the Kentucky folks know what's coming this year, and I think that it has maybe humbled them a little bit. So I think maybe they're going into it, stepping into it a little bit softer.
Well, we're going to talk about that, too, and how important this is. We're going to kind of lead in the break with it, talk about it when we come back. How important is this game to Louisville as a program, as a team, this year's team, and for Rick Pitino? How important is this, having lost 4 games in a row to John Calipari in Kentucky? You got them at home. They got a great recruiting class coming in next year. How important is this particular game? We want to hear from you. 964-2121, the Osmore Ford Lincoln Buzz Line. This is Sunday Sports Buzz, presented by livingforless.org.
Sports Buzz will return after these messages from our sponsors.
Hi, I'm Jim Weeks. At MaxCare, no project is too big. We have the capabilities to handle the smallest residential project to the largest commercial undertaking. We even clean big houses like this one. And everyone has been abuzz about our amazing 4 areas for $99 special. We want to let everyone know that MaxCare also cleans upholstery, ceramic tile, and air ducts. We also install and refinish hardwood floors dust-free. MaxCare, locally owned and family operated. Give us a call, 636-4629.
Here for Joe's OK Bayou. There are two things I've learned in the almost 20 years of doing business. First, every Cajun has their own secret recipe to a good gumbo. And second, I never claim to be better than Mama's cooking. We've been cooking up true Cajun for a long time now, and I think we're starting to win over some moms. Well, there might be a few tough moms out there yet to convince, but we're making progress. Stop in today and see for yourself how we measure up to moms.
Joe's OK by you. It's OK by me. I mean, Mama.
We are the Bach family from Bath County, Kentucky.
We have beef cattle, grain, and some fruits and vegetables. Our beef herd is about 240 mama cows.
We try to do the best job that we can so that the consumer is satisfied.
I feel I'm really blessed to be able to work with my families.
You've got to love what you do. I love farming. It's a good life.
I'm very proud of my family.
Kentucky Farm Families, feeding Kentucky, feeding the world.
Attention Fosamax users. The FDA has warned that the drug Fosamax has been linked to low-energy femur fractures. If you've taken the drug Fosamax and suffered an unexplained thigh fracture, call the Reliant Group right now to be connected with an experienced attorney for a free consultation and to see if you may qualify for financial compensation. You don't owe us a penny unless we're successful. If you or a loved one has taken Fosamax and suffered a thigh fracture,
call the Reliant Group at 800-234-7418.
Well, we just talked to Jerry on the phone, and our good friend Jerry likes both the Cards and the Cats. He would love 1450, the Sports Buzz. He needs to tune in throughout the week. You got my friend Rashawn Myers and Jeff Mason, a card guy, a cat guy every morning. Dan Patrick from National Radio Superstar. And you got Cards and Cats programming all day. So you cover both schools with Larry Glover, with Nick Coffey, our good buddy Nick Coffey, Johnny the Freak Renshaw, the Wildcat Locker Report. Montreal is in the house too with 1450.
Love Larry Glover Live.
Make sure you tune in to us throughout the week, and we're glad you tuned in tonight. We're here now for an hour. Every Sunday night, 11 to 12, we take your calls, 964-2121. Before the break, I talked about, asked Rashawn, and how important is this game? Well, let me put it this way. Is it more important for the Cards as a team this year, as a program, or for Rick Pitino to win this game?
I think this is a big game for the fans, truthfully. I think that's probably the biggest thing, is that the fans are tired of hearing about the streak and how Coach Pitino can't beat Calipari, and if Louisville doesn't win this year, they're never going to win. I think this is a game that's more for the fans. I've continued to believe since the University of Louisville got into the Big East in 2006, this game has been bigger for the University of Kentucky. And that's not a slap, that's not smack talk, it's just a simple fact that the University of Kentucky does not play in a traditionally strong basketball conference. There's usually a couple of pretty good teams in the SEC.
Even worse maybe this year.
Exactly. There's always a couple of teams that are decent. You have Florida and maybe a Vanderbilt. This year it's Missouri. But they don't play a lot of tough competition, so Louisville is always one of the better teams that they're going to play during the season. I think this season holds true. I think this game is more important to the University of Kentucky for that. But for Louisville themselves, when Coach Pitino says, I think this is just another game, I think it still holds a little bit of significance. I think that he wants to get a win. But when they say that we just look at this as just another game, for the players, for the team, for what they want to do as far as making that push to another Final Four, I really don't think it's that big of a game.
I tell you what, I think the Final Four berth last year took a lot of the heat off of Rick Pitino. It really did, even to win this game. I mean, losing this game has no effect on how they're going to make the run they're going to make in the NCAA tournament later on. No effect.
Yeah.
They are going to be judged by if they make the Final Four or not. That's how this team's going to be judged, whether they beat Kentucky or not. Now, if they lose to Kentucky, I mean, then there will be whispers if they would happen to lose. But I think Rick's holding the cards pardon the pun, he's holding the cards this year. I mean, I think he does have the better team. He has them at home. He needs to win, but I don't know if it has the importance that I thought it would have. Right. I think of all those, it's probably more important for Rick Pitino to beat Cal. At least he has to do it. I mean, to do it
he needs to do it
year,
at Kentucky. Because he beat Cal at Memphis, he beat Cal at UMass, but it hasn't happened at Kentucky.
I mean, but it doesn't have the importance that it did have. I think you're right. For the fans, it has a lot of importance.
Bragging rights.
Absolutely. And this is something else. You know how Cal said, you know, we're everybody's Super Bowl. Well, I actually think that Louisville is Kentucky's Super Bowl this year. This is their. They have no pressure to win at all. They have no pressure to make even a run in the tournament. They won their title. This is their Super Bowl, the best game they're going to play all year against the best team they're going to play all year. It's kind of funny. Kentucky, Kentucky is everybody's Super Bowl, but Louisville is only Kentucky's Super Bowl.
that might be
exactly
true. And you know what? I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to steal that for you from Mason and Myers.
Do it. Jeff Mason would like to hear that. Louisville's not everybody's Super Bowl. We're just Kentucky's Super Bowl. Let's go to Mark on the line.
Hello? Hello?
Mark, you're up.
All right, I'm on here.
Yes.
Well, I don't know about if it's the Super Bowl or not because Kentucky's played, you know, a couple top teams this year too, in Duke and Notre Dame's usually pretty rough.
They're not rough when we have to play them every year, but when you guys play them, they're all of a sudden rough.
You know, but my thing is, I'm not one of those Kentucky fans that's the haters. I pull for Louisville as long as they're not playing Kentucky. But as far as last year's team, Kentucky, you know, their early schedule, they played North Carolina and Kansas and Louisville and Indiana, all are, you know, non-conference schedules. So it was pretty rough. But considering back to this year, I think Louisville has got to beat Calipari this year with the team that Louisville has, especially when he's got them, you know, on his home court, and just to shut up all these, you know, some of the stupid Kentucky fans that, you know, just constantly just want to rub it in Louisville's face constantly. That
if they win this year too, it'll be you can add even more mustard and juice to the trash talk that Kentucky fans will have for Louisville. Yep. You're right about that, Mark.
You know, I want to see Louisville go, you know, really far as well. If Kentucky can't make it, I want Louisville to win it. I mean, because that's so.
Well, I tell you what. Thanks a lot for calling, Mark. We found the only two Kentucky fans that actually root for.
I'm telling you. I mean, maybe we are reaching a new brave new world.
We are coming together as a state, and the unity is unbelievable. This is how I think this will continue throughout the week, Rashawn.
Not a chance. Well, what's going to happen is, let me tell you, everybody might still be a little bit nice, okay? Because I think that a lot of Kentucky fans do see this as Louisville for one of the few times that I can remember in my lifetime where Louisville is pretty much the dominant team of the two. Usually these two teams are either very close or Kentucky's a lot better than Louisville. It's been very rare occasions where Louisville's had the markedly better team.
Well, you know, even with that, I still think Louisville is more susceptible to throwing in a bad one than even Kentucky was last year. To coming out and being, you know, having an off night. I think they're more susceptible. But do you think this Kentucky team, what you've seen so far, is of the same grit or talent level, savvy, to go into a place like KFC Yum Center in that environment and play as good as Cal's other teams have played in this game?
I don't think so, and I think the simple reason why is this is an extremely, extremely young team. They lost all 5 of their starters from last year's national championship team. As Coach Pitino once said, Anthony Davis, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, Deron Lamb, they're not walking through that door. I mean, these are a lot of very, very young guys, and I think that's going to be the biggest thing for Kentucky.
Somebody else used that phrase.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is going to be a team that gets better as the season goes along, but these young guys are not ready for that environment, and I think that's the biggest thing. You had veteran leadership in Darius Miller. You had Terrence Jones, these guys that had been through the wars, went to a Final Four the year before they ended up winning the title last year. That experience is huge, and in December, I just don't think that's a good mix.
Yeah, I don't think they have that experience right now. We want to hear from you, 964-2121. We said it earlier. Is it okay to sell your front row tickets to fans of your arch rival? I want to hear from you Cardinal fans on that one. And when we come back, we're going to talk about Gorgui Dieng, whether Rashawn thinks he's going to play, and what's your confidence level, Rashawn, and we'll get your answer after the break, of Louisville winning without Gorgui versus with Gorgui, scale of 1 to 10, and we're going to get your number there. When we come back, the Sunday Sports Buzz presented by livingforless.org.
Sports Buzz will return after these messages from our sponsors.
Great gift ideas from Smart Shoppers. Start and warm the car from anywhere with a remote starter. Smart Shopper price, $59. Crank up the tunes with a bass kit, including box, 2 subs, and amp. Smart Shopper price, $199. Smart holiday gift ideas only at
Smart Shoppers, 'cause this is how you roll. For the strength when I am weak, for the warmth when I am cold, I turn to you. I turn to you, Jesus.
Call or go online now for more information on inpatient and outpatient programs at the City of Hope Recovery Center.
Get all the secrets from your favorite local restaurants, Sundays at 4, weeknights at 6. And see them all in high def on Insight Channel 916. Secrets of Louisville chefs on location at all your favorite local hotspots. And Secrets live from Sullivan University's Kitchen Theater. Secrets of Bluegrass Chefs takes you across the state. It's new local TV on the air and online at newlocaltv.com. All local, all positive, and now in HD. Only on Ion 21. Get all the secrets Sundays at 4, weeknights at 6.
Welcome back to your first spot, your first place to talk about the Cards and the Cats. Sorry, my good buddy Rashawn, but this is the first place that you can call in and let your voice be heard on another dream game next Saturday at the KFC Yum Center. Cards and Cats. Rashawn, I'm sorry, your show tomorrow. You just can kind of pick up on where we leave off.
That's
here
right. I'm getting prepared right now.
You're getting prepared. Mason does not know what's going to hit him tomorrow. Rashawn's getting a trial run today. And I threw this question out to you before the break. 1, will Gorgui play? And 2, Rashawn, what's your confidence level? Scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most confident, of Louisville winning without Gorgui, and what's your confidence level with Gorgui?
I don't think it really matters if Gorgui plays or not. I think that Louisville, because of their defensive pressure, because of Russ Smith and Peyton Seaver, that's probably the biggest difference in this game is the ball pressure they're going to put on those Kentucky ball handlers. I don't think they're necessarily ready for that. I think Gorgui just enhances more or less how bad the game will get. I think that he will help in some situations. Of course, he's a rim protector. He can knock down the mid-range jump shot, and he's a great facilitator. But when it comes to who wins this game, I think that the factor is going to be more or less the backcourts and not necessarily the front courts.
Well, even if Louisville,
and yes, I do think he will play.
I think he'll play. Yeah. There's no doubt in my mind that he's playing in this game. Number one, first of all, if he's going to be ready January 2nd, he can be ready December the 29th with no problem. The second thing, even with Gorgui, because of the track record the last 4 years, it's not like even as a Louisville fan, you think we got a better team. We're definitely winning this game. You still are a little bit worried about
go out
this
there and do it. You
Kentucky hex they have on Louisville the last couple of years. Have won the game, won in the you're still a little worried about getting over that hump.
Right.
But I'd say it doesn't make that big a difference. Maybe from a 6 to a 7 your confidence level. 6 without Gorgie, 7 with Gorgie. I think he does enhance the defense because now Russ, you talk about going for steals. Russ will have no fear, like he had fear in the first place of getting beat. Because now if you get beat, you got Gorgie protecting the rim behind you. Yeah. And I think it just enhances the defense. And he could be a scoring factor from the 5 spot, which Van Treese and Zach Price definitely are not.
And you look at it, I mean, just the fact that now you have Montrezl Harrell that you can play at the 5 spot. Van Treese has played very well since he's been in there. And I think that was a big question mark was, when Gorgie went out of the game early in the season, this Louisville team did not look very good when he wasn't on the floor. This team is much more efficient now playing without him, and that just does nothing but bolster.
Let me ask you before we go to our callers, does Louisville's press is suffocating, but is that playing into Kentucky's hands any because it gets them more in an up-tempo game? Because Kentucky has shown that they can't hit threes. They can't hit it. They don't play well against the zone. I expect Louisville to play a lot of zone to make them have to shoot, but Louisville stings the press, and I think they'll press, but what do you think?
I don't think so because Archie Goodwin, when you speed him up, he's been known to make some bad decisions with the ball. So I think the more you speed them up, the frenetic pace, because it's not just once or twice, the constant pressure Louisville puts on you, I think that's going to get Kentucky to playing a little bit out of control.
I tell you what, Louisville caused a lot of turnovers last night against Western, and it generates a lot of offense for the Cards. That's how they score and get easy baskets. It's off the press. So I think they're going to press and take the chance that the up-tempo, Kentucky could get in the flows during certain runs, but want to cause a lot of turnovers. All right, we're going to go to William, who is on the Oxmoor Ford Lincoln Buzz line. Hey, William.
Yes, how you doing today?
Good.
I wanted to comment on the, whether it's okay for the UK to be sitting front row.
Yeah.
I'm a diehard U of L fan. I don't care whether they offer me $5,000 for the ticket. Well, I don't know. Let me retract that. They can sit anywhere they want to in the stadium anyway. They're not going to win.
Well, you might take the $5,000.
Row Z or row H or whatever. They can sit anywhere they want to, but if they lose, when they lose, that makes walking out of that arena so rough. So tough.
I tell you what, and maybe you want them there to witness it.
There you go.
Maybe they feel the pain
Witness
a little
the
bit more.
horror.
I mean, I do empathize with a fan who maybe can sell that one game and pay for a majority of their season ticket. I do empathize with that fan, but man, and Tom had said that they were going to do some things over the next couple years since the last game to prevent this from happening. I'm interested to know, did they do anything? Did they call ticket holders? Did they take names of seats and just encourage those people, please don't give your tickets to clients who are Kentucky fans. Please don't do that. It looks bad on TV.
I'm sure Mr. Jurich didn't like that too.
I wonder if they did some things like that, but we'll see. But I tell you what, I don't think you should do it. I don't think you should sell it if you're in the high-profile seat.
I hate it. Absolutely hate it.
All right, Stan, you're up. Stan, you're up.
Okay, hello?
Yeah, talk.
Yeah, I just want to say that it seems like everybody's forgotten that Louisville, they were the Big East champions last year, and in every round of the NCAA tournament, they were not favored, but they got to the Final Four with defense. The UK team has no experience in any kind of pressure game like that. Louisville Cardinals, as far as I'm concerned, 2013 NCAA national champs.
I think they got the potential.
I like that.
I think they have the look. I think they have the look in their eye of confidence in themselves. The NCAA tournament is such a difficult thing to predict. Even though I've looked at Louisville's schedule when they get through Kentucky, and I'm glad this year that they don't have that Big East game jammed in this week like they've had to play Georgetown in the past. Leading into Kentucky.
Right.
But I've looked at their schedule after they play Kentucky. I mean, they got Providence, Seton Hall.
It's very manageable.
They might not lose. If they beat Kentucky, they might not lose again until February. I mean, they could roll through some of this Big East season. They got Syracuse at home.
Yeah, I believe they have Syracuse at home.
They are
and
at UConn, but
UConn.
I don't know if UConn's the same as they have been. And
they're
Louisville's
not
won
on that
there
level.
before.
Yeah.
It's manageable after this Kentucky game for sure. As Louisville go, and my point being, I think they could get a number 1 seed. I think they could get that number 1 seed that helps you get through that NCAA tournament. I know Johnny might have a different opinion about some of the things Rashawn and I, Johnny Versace, on the phone. You might differ from some of our opinions, Johnny.
Yeah, I'm sure I do. I got two things, if that's okay. First of all, I'm going to end all the suspense here and let everyone know that Rashawn is going to pick U of L to win this game, much like he picked them to win the last four. So they can pull this one. They can pull this one out. Rashawn will improve to like 20% on his picks, so that would be really good. I really don't give him much credibility, though, since he just said the game does not mean anything to U of L and Patino. I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous. But the reason you have UK fans sitting courtside for this game is because U of L sold seats to the highest bidder when the Yum Center opened and did not honor fan loyalty. So, I mean, that's what you get when you sell out. And, if you don't like it, it shouldn't even be an issue. You shouldn't even have this discussion, don't give UK fans tickets to the most important game of the season. But, when you sell to the highest bidder, that's what you get.
I'm actually, selling that, they all sell it to the highest bidder. I don't agree. What happened was the person who bought the ticket then resold it to the highest bidder. That's the issue to me. If you buy the ticket, please don't sell it to somebody you know is going to be a UK fan. And I agree, it shouldn't be. You don't want that to be an issue in your own arena. I think that is the one place I would draw the line. All that Charlie Strong stuff he said, I disagree with everything that was said in that press conference about the football, about the fans and how they act at the football games. Right. But this is the one line drawing I think you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, you just got to, at some point, you have to have a little bit of, you just can't do that. You cannot have the UK, the Big Blue Nation, on the first three rows. It looks bad for the university. You got to do something to stop it.
It's almost, it helps the opponent, I think, to have some support that close to the court. Okay, we'll be back. We got 2 segments left here, the Sunday Sports Bus, presented by livingforless.org.
Sports Buzz will return after these messages from our sponsors.
Treasure just footsteps away from where you're sitting, in your jewelry box. Gold Buyers Express will pay more for your gold than anyone in the nation. But if you're smart, you need to ask, how much will I be paid for my gold? At Gold Buyers Express, we believe this is a fair question. Unlike other gold buyers, first we publish on our website what we pay for gold. That's smart. Next, you order our free gold kit insured for $5,000 for your peace of mind. Then our experts evaluate your gold, and in just 48 hours or less, you'll have an offer that's smart, fast, and safe. We are professional gold buyers, and we guarantee your satisfaction with every transaction. If you accept our offer, your check goes out FedEx overnight. So you can see, we're not like the other guys. At Gold Buyers Express, you're not left in the dark only to receive a check drastically lower than your gold's true value. That's a scam. Don't be fooled.
I have urgent news. If you have good credit now and a good credit history, you can qualify for a low fixed-rate 30-year refinance loan from Mortgage in 15 Minutes.
They turned my good credit into a great rate. Thank you, Mortgage in 15 Minutes.
They came through, like they said, in less than 15 minutes.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Call us now for your low fixed-rate loan.
1-800-644-9655.
Phone lines are lighting up here. We're going to get to you guys in a moment. First off, Rashawn, I want to go through a little fill in the blank here.
Okay.
Louisville wins if blank happens.
Louisville wins if they can continue to have this great turnover margin that they've had. They're the best in the nation in turnover margin at 8.5 turnovers per game. If they hit that number, if they have a difference of 8 or 9 turnovers in this game, Louisville will win.
They're creating a lot of offense over the turnovers. I think Louisville wins if 3 players in double figures, kind of like last night, with Russ being one. I think Louisville's good when they got balance and Russ leads the way. If Russ disappears and everybody else scores, I think they have a problem.
Yeah.
Or if Russ is the only one to score like he was last year when he got 30 in Rupp, that's a problem. But I think 3 players in double figures, hopefully it's Wayne or Shane or something. With Russ being, you got some balance, I think Louisville wins. Louisville loses if
Louisville loses if, for some reason, they get out-rebounded. I think that rebounding margin is going to be another key stat to watch. And if Louisville loses the backboards in this game on the road, or at this home game, I think it could be tough.
You know what? I think in Kentucky has rebounded. They did yesterday pretty well as a team. I think Louisville loses if Siva gets 3 silly fouls and is on the bench. I mean, you can't get silly fouls, hand checks, things like that. It might be a mud wrestling game again. Who knows? I think there'll be some more flow. The last several years, the games have been kind of ugly. But keep Siva on the floor. If he is off the floor, I think it could spell some trouble for the Cards in that respect. Okay, let's go to the callers. Kelly, you're up. Oxmoor, Ford, Lincoln, Buzzline. Kelly.
Yeah.
You're up.
All right. Just had a couple comments, Greg and Sean. Louisville, the city, definitely needs for Louisville to win this game. It's been too long. 1986 is just way too long for things to go our way. Patino definitely needs to be Calipari this year. I mean, not the fans that's actually going to the Yum Center to watch the games. We're talking about the fans that have been Cardinal fans. Then the Crum years where we're used to success. Not just get to the Final Four. We need to get to the championship. Saturday, definitely Louisville's going to win. If Siva, like you said, silly foul trouble, and Bohannon's definitely going to dominate. I think it should be a good matchup between him and Patras. But thank you for your time, Greg.
I look forward to that, too. I look forward to that, too, Kelly, that matchup. Let's go. We were talking about our new set here, kind of like the Tonight Show.
I like it.
My first candidate for the Ed McMahon of the show is up now. He'd be great. Handsome. If I could have you here just to laugh at my jokes.
Just agree with everything you say.
Exactly. Agree with everything I say. It'd be wonderful. We'll get you here every week. But Handsome, you're up. Oh, Handsome, we lost him. He already, he's a tough get. He's a tough get. All right, John, you're up. John will be up here with us in a second. You're up on the Sunday Sports Buzz. You up, John? Okay, John's not up yet. Okay, 2 more things here.
Yes.
Kentucky wins if. Fill in the blank.
I think Kentucky wins if they can have a positive assist-to-turnover ratio. I don't think they necessarily have to have a 2-to-1 assist-turnover ratio, but if they can go out there and have more assists than turnovers in this game, that would be huge for them.
Yeah, that would be huge. I think if they're hitting threes, Wilcher hits 4 threes. I'm going to say if Wilcher hits 4 threes, because he's the only guy who really is shooting threes out for their team or hitting any number of them. If he's standing out there and hitting threes, maybe they can win. They can beat the zone. If they can't shoot from outside, there's no chance they're going to win, in my opinion. Okay, Kentucky loses for sure if what?
If they don't handle the ball pressure early. If Kentucky goes out there and they cannot execute in the half court, if Russ Smith and Peyton Siva are getting these on-ball steals, turning the ball over with early, they have 0 shot to win.
I'm with you on that. I say 15-plus turnovers for Kentucky, loser. Yeah. 15 or more turnovers, and they're done. All right, Handsome, you're back.
Rashawn, Louisville loses if the bus breaks down, they don't get to the arena. That's the way they lose. Are you kidding me? Rashawn, I agree with you. When that other team gets off the bus and goes to rolling, pressure them from the get-go. Because I think it's going to be a turnover, because I don't think they can handle our pressure. And I really believe even without Gork, and Greg, I agree with you 100%. I think Gork is going to play. If he's ready to play January 2nd, he's ready on the 29th. But I mean, in the long term, if he's not fully ready, I ain't worried about playing him. I mean, because I want him for the long haul. Because I get a feeling in April, it's going to be some smiling faces like us three. We're going to do a lot of smiling in April. I really believe that. And I just think, if we win by 1, I'm going to be happy as hell. But I just want a blowout. We deserve that. You know what I mean? If we
tell
waited
you
so
what.
long, and for us in blue fans in 3 rows, that can't happen. That cannot happen. I mean,
I want you to be a bouncer like your old days of Splash, Handsome. You're going to bounce the first 3 rows.
Great.
Okay?
I mean, great. I mean, that's unheard of. I mean, are you kidding me? I wouldn't take 10,000. I mean, I'm serious it can be. I would not take, if I had front row tickets, and I'm not too bad where I'm at, but I wouldn't take 10,000 for them. I'm serious, it's true. And I think the cars win by 10 or more. Greg, Sean, you got a great show, buddy.
All right, buddy. Handsome, you're getting pumped. You're getting fired up already.
I'm trying to picture Handsome as the bouncer at Splash, actually.
Well, he had this army. It was hard for him to manage the crowd when he had the army of ladies that were on his arms
Right,
and
exactly.
rubbing his shoulders and things during the course of the night. It's tough to. He earned that nickname now.
That's
he wasn't just given that. He earned it. Okay, we're taking your calls. 964-2121. We're talking about the Cards and the Cats this Saturday at the KFC Yum Center. Breaking the game down. Rashawn will be breaking it down all week on Mason and Myers in the morning. We got one more segment. We come back. We're going to go through the individual matchups, position matchups, Rashawn. We're still taking your calls, too. The Sunday Sports Buzz presented by livingforless.org.
Sports Buzz will return after these messages from our sponsors.
Great gift ideas from Smart Shoppers. Start and warm the car from anywhere with a remote starter. Smart Shopper price, $59. Crank up the tunes with a bass kit, including box, 2 subs, and amp. Smart Shopper price, $199. Smart holiday gift ideas only at
Smart Shoppers, 'cause this is how you roll.
Landscape of sports talk radio has changed in a big way. 1450 The Sports Buzz brings you the best local shows and national shows in the area, starting with Mason and Myers in the morning, The Dan Patrick Show, The Freak Show with John Renshaw, and Inside the Press Box, as well as high school, college, and professional games. Sick of the same old watered-down sports talk? Look no further than 1450 The Sports Buzz and 1450thesportsbuzz.com.
Whether it's fire danger, a serious fall, or other type of emergency, Life Alert is there for you.
The first time I fell in that bedroom and I couldn't reach the phone.
When you have a heart attack like I did and there's no one there, Life Alert was there for me.
Having a secure feeling through Life Alert is ideal.
My independence is possible because of it.
Now, Life Alert can also protect you in a fire emergency with a system that automatically notifies our monitoring center.
Thanks to Life Alert, you can live alone without ever being alone. And that's why I wear one.
All senior citizens should have Life Alert.
Please call 1-800-784-9966 for free information about Life Alert. That's 1-800-784-9966, or visit us on the web at the address on your screen. Don't delay. Call us now at 1-800-784-9966.
3 out of 4 Americans know they need life insurance, and many who have it know they don't have enough. Sound like you? You can guarantee those you love $200,000, $500,000, $750,000 or more with life insurance through Matrix Direct. Just look, less than $16 a month buys a 40-year-old man a $250,000 term life policy. That's up to 3 times what you can get from other companies for the same price.
Call 800-893-4667 or go to matrixdirect.com. That's 800-893-4667.
Well, we've talked about Rick Pitino's new catchphrase. We may not be everyone's Super Bowl, but we're Kentucky's Super Bowl. We talked about that earlier. It's the biggest game Kentucky has all year, and it would make their year to spoil another game in the KFC Yum Center, especially when Louisville fans really think this is the year that they're going to get it done, and Rick's going to beat Cal at Kentucky. We're taking your calls, and we got John on the line. Hey, John.
Hey, Greg. Long-time watcher, first-time caller.
Well, thank you very much.
What I want to chime in about is your discussion you're having about UK fans getting tickets. I got a situation that I need to confirm. My dentist, of all people, was cleaning my teeth and was bragging that when U of L announced they had these mini basketball packages for sale, she's a Kentucky fan. She was going to go down there, get the tickets, go to the UK game, front row, and then give up the other tickets for the remainder of the season. So I don't know if that's true, but I don't see why this person would have to lie. You know, like I said, this is my dentist, and she had me upside down in the chair, fooling with my mouth, so I really couldn't go off.
No, you can't do anything there. Hey, I tell you what, you know, John, and you know, and even those mini packages, I don't have as much problem if the mini package is an upper deck seat,
right?
And they get in there. It's that front 3 rows when you're on TV and you're near the court, but yeah, they're all over the place. They find their way in. They are amazing how they do that.
I think the University of Louisville should do like a background check to see who's buying these tickets. If you don't qualify, then you don't get the tickets.
That's we got a new policy in place for this game in particular. Exactly. All right, Barry, you're up.
Hey, Greg, how you doing? First of all, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Hey, I agree. I mean, it's a shame. If you're a U of L fan, especially if you're a diehard, there's no way, I don't care what amount, you should sell your ticket. That's one of the reasons Calipari didn't want to go back to Indiana. Because if you watch that game, you didn't hardly see no Kentucky fans. Indiana do not sell their tickets. All you seen was Indiana fans. And that's one of the reasons why they want to play on a neutral floor, so they can get more tickets, have more people in there. But if you call yourself a diehard U of L fan, there's no way you should sell your ticket for no amount. And we will win because I think our pressure will get to them. The only way we will lose if the referees call it close. All right, y'all have a good day.
And you know what? Considering the way the game has transpired, I could see him coming out and trying to establish a tone and not let it get too physical. Yeah. Because, you know, going all the way back to DeMarcus Cousins. But Louisville's got to stay out of foul trouble.
Well, that's one thing that Coach Pitino actually mentioned is the reason why he's not starting Montrezl Harrell at center right now is because a lot of times referees want to set the tone early, so usually the
he's
big
okay
guys
with Steve Mantries getting those fouls.
or Zach Price.
Yeah,
you know.
Absolutely. And you know what? And we talked a lot about the seats. I expect that at least the number of Cat fans in the first couple rows will diminish at least by half. I really think that the message was received, I think, in certain circles and up there in the front rows, we'll see a lot more red and black.
Or at least they should like hand out tomatoes and like throw tomatoes at all the Kentucky people, which I'd be okay with that also. So you know, either way.
either way is okay with us. Rashawn, real quick, matchups, and we only got a couple minutes, but is there any place you got Siva versus Harrow? Who do you like?
Siva, easy.
Siva. Even though Harrow's coming on, I like Siva. Russ versus Goodwin.
I like Russ just because of the experience
factor. I like Russ, and people are saying, no, it's close.
And
man, I like Russ.
Yeah.
Russ is the man. He makes things happen. I think Russ, hands down, to me, Goodwin can score, but I like Russ.
Totally.
Okay, Blackshear and Hancock versus Mays and Wiltshire. I'm putting Wiltshire at the 3.
I'm still taking Blackshear in that matchup. He's coming on. He's playing his best basketball right now. I think Wayne B is a difference maker.
All right. So Louisville, all 3 there for Rashawn. I think that one's closer. I think Wiltshire could have a good game. You never know. Blackshear's coming on, but he's known to disappear occasionally. Bohannon and Poitras, I think this is the heavyweight fight.
The unstoppable force versus the immovable object. I mean, you know, this is going to be the one that is not for the faint of heart. That's 2 big, strong guys. You know, at this point, Alex Poitras has not met the expectations of Big Blue Nation. He has to be special in this game. But right now, Shane Bohannon is playing better basketball. He's the defending Western Conference most outstanding player of the West Regional. You have to give me Shane Bohannon slightly over Poitras.
Yeah, and I think he's got something to prove. And then at the center position, who you like, real quick?
Nerlens Noel.
Noel right now, unless Jing plays. All right, it's getting close. We'll see you to react after the game next week. Sunday Sports Buzz, presented by livingforless.org.